What if I told you you're not broken? You're just broadcasting the wrong signal. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, something keeps pulling you back? Like there's an invisible force stopping you right before the things get good? What if that force wasn't failure, but a message? What if your subconscious wasn't holding you back, but trying to speak to you? Today, we're not just going to talk about the subconscious mind, we're going to decode it. This is more than self-help. This is quantum transformation from the inside out. Because once you understand the signal you're sending, you can finally change the life you're receiving. Stay until the end, because the moment you really get this, you don't just think differently, you vibrate differently, and that changes everything. Part 1, the voice beneath the silence. Your subconscious isn't broken, it's just repeating what it thinks is safe. Why does this always happen to me? I thought I was over this. No matter how hard I try, I keep ending up right back here. If you've ever said these words to yourself, you're not crazy, you're not cursed, you're not even stuck. You're just running an old signal, a frequency that your conscious mind says it's done with, but your subconscious never got the memo. Chapter 1. When the past pretends to be the present. Let's say you're walking into a room. It's quiet, no threat, just you and your breath. But something about this room feels off. Suddenly, your chest tightens, your jaw locks, your heart speeds up, and you don't even know why. That right there is not just anxiety, that's a neural echo. A part of you, buried deep in the subconscious, is whispering, this room feels like that moment years ago when you didn't feel safe, and before you can even rationalize your way out of it. Your entire body is reacting to an event that happened a decade ago, as if it's happening right now. That's how powerful your subconscious is. It doesn't deal in time, it deals in survival. Chapter 2. Your subconscious is not a mind. It's a body memory system. Here's the truth no one told you growing up. Your subconscious isn't some mental vault that stores memories. It's a full-body surveillance system, built not to dream big, but to keep you alive. And what keeps you alive? The familiar. It doesn't care if the familiar is painful. It doesn't care if it costs you joy, intimacy, or peace. If it kept you breathing when you were 7 years old, it assumes it should still protect you today. So every time you say, why do I attract the same kind of person? Or, why does this fear come back right when I'm about to grow? Understand this. You're not failing. You're just succeeding at protecting an old identity. Chapter 3. The loop you didn't know you were in. Let's break this down simply. Every belief is a survival strategy. Some beliefs are obvious. I need money to pay rent. If I touch a hot stove, I'll get burned. But others are far sneakier. If I speak up, people will leave me. I need to work twice as hard to be worthy. If I show emotion, I lose control. These were formed in real moments. Moments when you were raw, defenseless, and deeply impressionable. Moments that were too big for your child mind to handle. So you made a decision, not consciously, but somatically. This is how I need to be to stay safe. And from that moment on, the subconscious ran that belief on loop. Every relationship, every opportunity, every challenge, filtered through the lens of survival first. Chapter 4. The safety illusion. Now here's the catch. The subconscious doesn't care if you're happy, it cares if you're prepared. So let's say you're used to being abandoned. You're used to being overlooked. You're used to being broke. Guess what your subconscious will attract? People, experiences, and outcomes that feel like home. Even if home was heartbreaking, because it's not seeking success, it's seeking predictability, and predictability feels safe, even if it kills your dreams. Chapter 5. The illusion of self-sabotage. Now, let's crush a myth that's been weaponized against you. You're just sabotaging yourself. No, you're not. You're self-protecting, beautifully, brilliantly, even if it looks messy. Let me give you a real-world example. You've been working on your passion project. Everything's lining up. You're getting attention, and right before your big moment, Boom. You freeze. You ghost people. You fall back into a rut. Self-sabotage? Not quite. Your subconscious just said, "This is unfamiliar. We've never been seen like this before." And being seen might equal being judged, abandoned, or shamed. So let's return to the frequency we know. It's not a flaw, it's protective coding. And until you decode it, you'll keep reliving it. Chapter 6. The moment you pause, you shift. Here's where the shift begins. In the moment you don't react out of habit, but pause out of awareness. Let's say a trigger rises. Someone ignores you. A bill comes unexpectedly. You feel that familiar tension surge, and instead of spiraling, you pause. You breathe. You ask, what is this feeling protecting me from? In that pause, you give the subconscious something it's never had before. A witness, not a judge, not a fixer, just presence. And that single act, it sends a brand new signal into the field. Chapter 7. Rewriting the pattern, not through force, but through frequency. You don't override the subconscious by shouting louder. You don't heal by brute forcing positivity. You shift by broadcasting a new frequency. And how do you broadcast? Through consistent emotional energy. Here's the formula. 1. Recognize the loop. 2. Interrupt it with awareness. 3. Soothe it with breath and safety. 4. Choose a new emotional response. That's it. Simple? Yes. Easy? Number. But do it enough. And your subconscious rewires not because you forced it, but because it felt safe enough to change. And safety, my friend, is the true currency of transformation. Chapter 8. The door opens from the inside. Here's the twist most people miss. The universe doesn't grant you a new life. It matches your new internal rhythm. So if your old story says, "I'm always overlooked," but your new vibration says, "I am worth being seen," then eventually the field reflects that shift. Not overnight, but inevitably. Why? Because energy always seeks resonance. And the moment you become unavailable for the old frequency, the old pattern has no signal to return to. Chapter 9. You are not the pattern. You are the programmer. Let this land. You are not your patterns. You are the one who's been surviving them. And survival is not weakness, it's intelligence. But now, today, this moment, you're no longer surviving. You're awakening. You're hearing the voice of your subconscious clearly, maybe for the first time. And what's it saying? I've kept you safe as long as I could, but I'm tired. I'm ready to evolve. Can we do this differently now? This is the moment where the real journey begins. Not with a scream, not with a breakthrough, but with a whisper. I hear you, I see you, and we're safe now. Closing moment, emotional pause. Close your eyes for a second. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what's the one emotion I've been surviving instead of healing? Is it abandonment, unworthiness, fear of success, the belief that if you fully showed up, you'd lose everything? Whatever comes up, don't push it away. Just hold it. Witness it. Because the more you meet that old emotion with presence, the more it transforms from prison to permission. Permission to rise, to love, to lead, to live as the version of you the world has been waiting for. If this part of the story reached a part of you that words usually don't, comment with a single word that rose for you. Let the algorithm see your signal. More importantly, let you hear it. In part 2, we're diving into the frequency field, the quantum mirror that doesn't reflect your thoughts, but your truth. And the moment you tune that truth, everything around you starts tuning with it. Subscribe now. Let's go deeper. Part 2, the frequency that shapes your life. The universe doesn't hear what you want. It hears what you broadcast. The most expensive lie you were ever sold. You've been told this your entire life. Just think positive. Visualize your dream life. Say your affirmations every day and everything will change. And yet, you tried. You said the words. You made the vision boards. You stayed grateful. You stayed hopeful. And nothing really changed. Why? Because the universe never hears what you say, it hears what you broadcast. It listens not to the voice in your head, but the energy pulsing from your body, not the words on your mirror, but the vibration behind your breath. This part of the journey isn't about rewiring thoughts. It's about tuning your signal. And once you understand this, you'll stop chasing results and start aligning with reality-shaping resonance. Chapter 1. You are always broadcasting. Every second of your life, you're sending a signal. When you walk into a room, people feel it. When you speak, your energy arrives before your words do. It's in your tone. It's in your eyes. It's in your breath. It's in the way your nervous system either opens or flinches. You don't have to say a thing. Your body already said it. So when you say, I am ready for abundance, but your nervous system is screaming scarcity, the field doesn't respond to your intention. It responds to your tension. The field doesn't respond to what's written in your journal. It reflects the signal coded in your emotions. This is where most manifestation teachings fall flat. They focus on the mind, but the field reads the frequency. Chapter 2. Conscious desire versus subconscious signature. Let's break it down. Your conscious mind is the goal setter. Your subconscious mind is the frequency emitter. Imagine you say, I want a loving relationship, but your subconscious is still vibrating on a past betrayal. The quantum field will not match your desire. It will match your signal. So what shows up? Another partner who doesn't meet you, another dynamic where you feel unseen, another emotional echo of the past. Not because the universe is cruel, but because it's precise. The law isn't ask and you shall receive. The law is broadcast and you shall reflect. Chapter 3. What is a frequency, really? Let's demystify this. A frequency is emotional consistency. It's the emotional baseline you return to, over and over again. For some people, that baseline is shame. For others, it's anxiety. For others, it's peace, worthiness, and joy. Here's how it works. If your baseline emotion is fear, then even if something good comes into your life, you'll find a way to sabotage it or feel unworthy of it. Why? Because the frequency of fear is incompatible with the experience of ease. This is why people win the lottery and lose it all. Why people fall in love and unconsciously push it away. Why people get what they asked for and still feel empty. They change their circumstances, but never tune their frequency. Chapter 4. Energy doesn't lie. Let's get real. People can tell when your energy doesn't match your words. Ever had someone say, I'm fine, but you felt they were breaking inside? That's frequency. Now imagine this at scale, across the universe. You're saying, well, I'm grateful, but your signal says, I'm afraid. I don't trust this moment. I don't feel safe being seen. So what does the field reflect? More reasons to validate that emotional state. The field is not punishing you. It's mirroring you. And once you see this, you stop blaming life. You start recalibrating your broadcast. Chapter 5. The field is neutral, but it's not passive. Here's a truth that should feel liberating. The universe is not emotional. It doesn't reward good people or punish bad ones. It reflects frequency with surgical precision. You could be kind, generous, and spiritual. But if you're vibrating in guilt or unworthiness, the field will reflect that. Not to hurt you, to inform you, to say, this is the signal you're broadcasting. Would you like to change it? The universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are in resonance with. This is not a philosophy. This is physics. Chapter 6. Wanting versus resonating. Let's make something very clear. Wanting something does not equal aligning with it. In fact, the stronger the wanting, the more likely it's coming from a place of lack. When you want something with desperation, your signal is, I don't have this. I need it to feel whole. And that vibration pushes it further away. True resonance feels different. It feels like ease. It feels like truth. It feels like wholeness before arrival. It's the emotional state that says, even if it hasn't shown up yet, I already feel like it's mine. That's when the quantum field responds. That's when timelines shift. That's when reality begins to reorganize. Chapter 7. The Power of Identity Frequency. Here's where everything changes. Your frequency is not just how you feel, it's who you believe you are. If your identity is, I'm a fighter, you will attract battles. If your identity is, I always have to prove myself, you'll keep manifesting situations where you're doubted. If your identity is, I am worthy of love and success without performance, the universe reflects that back without resistance. You don't attract what you want. You attract what feels true to your subconscious identity. So here's the real work. Don't just change your thoughts. Upgrade your identity. Rewire your baseline. Become the person who already has what you used to chase. Chapter 8. How to change your broadcast practically. Let's get tactical now. Here's how you start tuning your signal. Step 1. Emotional check-in. Ask yourself daily, what emotional state am I broadcasting right now? Don't judge it, just observe. Awareness is frequency calibration. Step 2. Anchor the new baseline. Pick the emotion that matches your desired life. Is it peace, freedom, joy? Now practice generating that emotion in stillness, not stimulus. Because if you need your external life to shift first, you're not broadcasting, you're reacting. Step 3. Practice consistency, not perfection. Frequency is built through repetition, not intensity. Start small, 30 seconds of feeling worthy in the morning, 1 minute of breathing into safety before a tough meeting, 10 seconds of gratitude that doesn't come from pressure, but presence. Every time you hold a new signal, even briefly, you're breaking an old loop, and the universe hears that. Chapter 9. Case Study. When it all shifted. Let me share a story. There was a woman in her mid-40s. She had done all the inner work, read every book, went to therapy, chanted affirmations, but her relationships always ended the same. Same betrayal, same abandonment, same heartbreak. One day she stopped trying to fix her life and started feeling into who she was being. And in that stillness, she realized, I keep saying I want love, but I'm terrified to be seen. I don't trust anyone. I don't even trust myself. So she changed her practice. She stopped asking, where's my person? And started asking, can I feel safe being loved without earning it? Weeks later, a new person came into her life. But this time, she didn't sabotage it. She didn't flinch, because her signal wasn't screaming, prove your worth. It was humming, I already am. That's how subtle, but seismic broadcasting is. Closing reflection. Let this sink in. You are already powerful. You are already broadcasting. The only question is, are you broadcasting from old pain or from new presence? Once you stop chasing what you want and start broadcasting from the version of you who already holds it, life starts to mirror that. Effort fades. Forcing fades. Reality becomes a reflection, not a resistance. That's the frequency shift. That's the quantum truth. If one word came up for you today, drop it in the comments, not for validation, but as a declaration. That's your signal. That's the vibration you're choosing now. And in part 3, we're going deeper. We'll explore how your biology, your breath, posture, and nervous system isn't separate from your manifestation. It's the instrument that plays your frequency. And when it's in tune, so is your reality. Subscribe. Share this with someone who's ready to tune in. The signal shift has already begun. Part 3. Biology is the software of belief. You're not just thinking your life, you're living your childhood script. Your body is not behind you. It's broadcasting you. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever walked into a situation fully prepared, mentally confident, logically clear, emotionally hyped, and then your body betrays you? Your throat tightens, your chest collapses, you forget your words, and suddenly you're not in control anymore. That's not fear. That's not insecurity. That's your nervous system speaking first. You see, we've spent decades trying to think our way into a new life. But here's the truth most coaches won't tell you. Your body doesn't follow your mind. Your mind follows your body's coding. And most of that code? was written long before you could spell the word belief. Chapter 1. Beliefs are not thoughts. They're neurological instructions. A belief is not a sentence in your brain. It's not just a mantra or a mindset. A belief is a physiological state. It's in your spine. It's in your breath. It's in your reaction time. It's in the way you flinch when someone raises their voice or shrink when you're praised. As Dr. Bruce Lipton puts it, the subconscious mind is not just a record player. It's a biological system that lives in the body. So when you say, I believe I deserve abundance, but your shoulders collapse under stress, your body is voting against the belief, and the quantum field doesn't listen to your language. It listens to your alignment. Chapter 2. The somatic archive, where your story lives. Let's go back for a moment. Way back. Childhood. That time when your brain was soaking up everything. Not through logic, but through feeling. When your mom was anxious, you absorbed it as, the world isn't safe. When your dad was emotionally unavailable, you learned, love is distant. I must earn it. When your needs weren't met, you decided, I'm too much. I must shrink. None of this was spoken. It was transmitted through tone, touch, absence, energy. And guess what? You didn't forget. Your mind might have, but your body never. Because the body records everything that was too overwhelming to process. Chapter 3. You don't react to the present. You react from the past. Imagine this. You get into an argument with your partner. You're not just arguing about the dishes. You're replaying a frequency. Maybe it's the same emotional abandonment you felt at age 6. Maybe it's the silence you absorbed when you were punished for speaking up. Your partner thinks you're overreacting, but you're not reacting to them. You're reacting to a layered archive of moments. This is why affirmations fail without embodiment, because your mind says, I am worthy. But your fascia is bracing, your gut is clenching, your breath is shallow, and the field reads the subconscious signal, not the sentence. Chapter 4. Trauma is not the event, it's the stored frequency. Let's get raw for a second. Trauma isn't what happened, it's what got frozen inside you when it happened. It's the emotion that never got released. It's the movement that never got completed. It's the scream that got swallowed, the tears that got suppressed, the truth that got silenced. And that frozen energy, it becomes a set point, an internal thermostat. You keep your nervous system at that safe frequency. You attract relationships, jobs, situations that maintain that energetic status quo. Why? Because the body fears any jump in voltage. It fears change, even if the change is healthy. So the subconscious whispers, let's stick with the pain we know. Until you do something radical, feel it on purpose. Chapter 5. The body is a precision instrument, but it needs retuning. Think of your body like a piano. Every emotional experience imprints a note. Your dad's disapproval? That's C minor. Your first heartbreak? That's D sharp. Your childhood loneliness? That's a low E. Play enough of those over time, and your subconscious playlist becomes your daily soundtrack. Now imagine trying to manifest love with that background music. You might say, I'm ready for a partner. But your body plays a note that says, love equals abandonment. You might say, I want to speak on stage. But your body plays, visibility is dangerous. You can't overlay a new song on an old instrument that's out of tune. You must retune the instrument. That's where embodiment comes in. That's where breath, movement, and awareness shift the broadcast. Chapter 6. Breath, the remote control for the nervous system. Let's get practical. Your breath is the bridge between your conscious intention and your subconscious patterning. Here's how it works. When your body is in survival mode, your breath becomes shallow and high. This sends a signal to your brain. We're under threat. Your logical mind could be thinking positively, but your breath is sending out danger signals. So here's your reset button. Breathe deeper, slower, longer. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system. The body begins to soften. The subconscious receives a new command. We are safe. It's okay to reprogram. You don't need to force new beliefs. You need to make the body available to receive them. Chapter 7. Embodiment is self-trust in motion. What does embodiment actually mean? It means living the new belief before the world gives you evidence. It means walking like you are already whole, speaking like you deserve to be heard, standing like you're rooted in truth. This isn't fake it till you make it. It's feel it till you become it. Because repetition in the body rewires the broadcast faster than repetition in the mind. The universe responds to who you are being, not what you're performing. And when your embodiment is congruent, synchronicities follow like gravity. Chapter 8. Healing happens at the speed of safety. Let's say this loud and clear. You don't need to force healing. You need to create safety. The subconscious doesn't change when shamed or rushed. It changes when it feels, I'm not in danger. It's okay to try something new. I can stay with this emotion and survive it. So here's the real flex. Can you sit in discomfort without abandoning yourself? Can you stay present when the old emotion rises, without numbing, running, fixing, or blaming? Because in that moment, you stop repeating the cycle. You start dissolving the frequency, not through control, but through compassionate witnessing. Chapter 9. Rewrite the story stored in your spine. Every part of your body holds a chapter of your story. Your shoulders may carry your mother's stress. Your belly might store a childhood secret. Your back might hold the weight of proving yourself. Your hands might clench from decades of not feeling supported. But you are not your trauma. You are the reader, not the story. You can close the chapter. You can reassign the meaning. You can literally exhale the old script. One breath, one choice at a time. When you shift your posture, you shift your projection. When you shift your projection, the universe meets the new identity. It starts with one simple sentence, spoken not with words, but with embodiment. I'm safe now. I'm here now. I choose to live in a different signal. Closing integration, from concept to core. Let's bring it home. You're not just thinking thoughts. You're broadcasting beliefs through your body. And if your biology is still rehearsing an old survival pattern, your vibration is echoing a reality that no longer fits. It's time to end the rehearsal. Let your biology catch up with your intention. Let your spine align with your truth. Let your nervous system anchor your worth. Let your breath become the bell that rings. We're safe. We're seen. We're shifting. Now it's your turn. Take a breath. Feel into your body. What part of you is asking to be witnessed right now? Comment the body part or emotion that came up. Not for likes, for integration. When you name it, you claim it. When you claim it, you begin to release it. Subscribe if you're ready to retune. Share this with someone who's doing the somatic work. And in part 4, we go quantum. How the moment you stay, instead of run, is the moment timelines begin to bend. We're not here to bypass. We're here to broadcast differently from the inside out. The signal is you. Let's keep tuning. Part 4. The shift begins when you stay. Healing doesn't happen when you run. It happens when you witness. This is where most people turn back. There's a moment right before the breakthrough where everything in your body screams, this is too much. I can't do this. I need to get out of here. That moment, that's not your failure. That's the threshold. Most people interpret this as a sign to retreat. Go back to what's safe, back to the coping, back to distraction, back to the old story. But here's the truth. The shift doesn't begin when you push harder. It begins when you pause longer. It begins not with a roar, but with a whisper. I'm still here. Because presence, not power, is what moves timelines. Chapter 1. Fight, flight, freeze, or finally feel. Let's talk about the default settings of the nervous system. When discomfort rises, your body instinctively does one of 3 things. 1. Fight. You get angry, resistant, deflective. 2. Flight. You check out, distract, escape. 3. Freeze. You numb, you shut down, you go silent. All of these are intelligent survival strategies, but none of them let you stay in the room. None of them let you feel through the discomfort. None of them let you rewire the signal, and that's why patterns repeat. because the signal has never been allowed to complete itself. You've been dodging the discomfort. But what if discomfort isn't the enemy? What if it's the door? Chapter 2. The mirror doesn't shatter, it reflects. Here's the cosmic law no one tells you. Life will echo back the vibration you refuse to feel. Avoid abandonment, you'll keep encountering people who leave. Resist stillness, you'll attract chaos. Deny anger, you'll meet it in someone else's explosion. Not as punishment, as reflection. The quantum field is not testing you, it's mirroring you. It will keep showing you the frequency you broadcast until you acknowledge it. And when you finally stop, breathe, witness, stay. You break the mirror's loop because the signal shifts the moment you do. Chapter 3. The revolutionary act of staying present. Let's make this simple. Staying means you don't override the feeling. You don't analyze it away. You don't run for a spiritual bypass. You breathe, you soften, you stay, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. Why? Because presence rewrites programming. You've spent your life trying to get over things. But what if you don't need to get over anything? What if you just need to be with it? Long enough for it to dissolve. That's the revolution. That's the recoding. Chapter 4. Pattern. Repetition is not failure. It's an invitation. If you've ever thought, why is this happening again? I thought I was done with this. I've done so much work. Why am I back here? Pause, breathe. Understand this. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're just meeting a deeper layer. The subconscious is layered like an onion. You don't heal everything at once. You meet one layer, then another, then another. And every time a pattern repeats, it's not punishment, it's precision. It's your body saying, we've arrived at the next level of the loop. Are you willing to stay and dissolve this one too? This is how the old software deactivates, not through force, through presence. Chapter 5. The dip before the breakthrough. Let's talk about the part no one shares on Instagram. You know the feeling. You've been doing the work. You're meditating, journaling, breathing, releasing. And suddenly, out of nowhere, you crash. Old emotions flood you. Doubt creeps in. You feel like you're moving backwards. This is the dip, the moment your nervous system is recalibrating and the old frequency makes one last attempt to survive. It whispers, are you sure you're safe now? What if the same thing happens again? Don't get too comfortable. This is not regression. It's the old signal checking for resonance. And if you stay in that dip, if you don't abandon yourself in that low, you shift to the other side. This is the moment most people quit, but the ones who stay, they enter a new timeline. Chapter 6. Frequency responds to stillness, not force. Let's get quantum for a second. The field doesn't respond to your effort, it responds to your vibration. And your vibration becomes coherent, not when you're forcing change, but when you're rooted in stillness. Stillness doesn't mean silence. It means non-resistance. You can feel emotion. You can move through discomfort. You can cry, scream, grieve, but you're not fighting it. You're not running. You're letting it move through you, like breath, like weather, like waves. And in that allowance, you emit a new frequency. I don't need to control this. I'm safe in it. And the field goes, alignment. Here's what you asked for. Chapter 7. What we call resistance is often unprocessed intelligence. Let's redefine resistance. It's not laziness. It's not procrastination. It's not failure. It's intelligence that was never felt. An emotion that was paused mid-process. A memory that needed to be protected. When you feel resistance, ask, what is this energy trying to protect? What part of me didn't feel safe enough to continue? And then stay with it. That's when resistance softens. Because resistance is not a wall, it's a messenger. And once heard, it no longer needs to shout. Chapter 8. The body remembers, but it also rewrites. Every time you stay present during an old pattern, every time you choose breath over panic, awareness over impulse, stillness over escape, you are sending a live message to your nervous system. We no longer live in that old world. You're updating your internal GPS. You're replacing fear with familiarity. You're turning survival into safety. And the body, it starts to relax. It starts to trust. It starts to broadcast a new emotional signature. And what follows? New people, new opportunities, new reality, not by force, by resonance. Chapter 9. This is the new story. So now the next time a familiar discomfort arises, you won't say, ugh, here we go again. You'll say, thank you for showing me where I'm still broadcasting the past. Let's breathe here. Let's feel here. Let's stay here. You are not here to avoid pain. You are here to alchemize it. You're not here to bypass fear. You're here to transmute it. And you're not here to fix yourself. You're here to finally come home to yourself. This is not a new practice. This is the oldest intelligence in your system, waiting to be remembered. Closing integration. Stay equals shift. So today, just try this. The next time emotion rises, when your old reaction says run, numb, fix. Don't. Just stay. Even for 10 seconds longer than usual. That single pause, that one breath, it tells the field, the broadcast has changed. I am not reacting from my past. I'm responding from my presence. And that presence, it's the strongest vibration there is. What is the emotion you usually try to avoid? Name it in the comments. Not to conquer it, to meet it, to stay with it. Let that comment be your declaration. This time I don't run. This time I stay. Drop your signal. Subscribe for part 5, where we step into identity reassembly. How to become the new frequency and walk through the world as a living transmission of your future self. The shift is happening, and it's happening right now. Part 5, you are the vibration. Now your life doesn't change when you say it will. It changes when you become the signal. Becoming the thing you used to chase. Let's start here with a moment of honesty. You've tried, you've visualized, you've said the affirmations, you've done the inner work, and yet part of you still feels like the transformation is incomplete, like you're standing at the edge of a new life, but not quite inside it yet. Why? Because becoming isn't about effort. It's about integration. It's about embodying the frequency so completely that you're no longer trying to align. You just are the alignment. You don't attract the life you want. You attract the life that matches the vibration you've become. And now, in this final part of your journey, that's exactly what we're going to do. Not perform, not practice. Become. Chapter 1. Identity is the master frequency. Let's talk about your identity field. This isn't about what you do, what you've achieved, or what you believe. It's about who you are when no one's watching. Who do you unconsciously believe yourself to be? Because that's what shapes your frequency, and frequency is what instructs the universe. Say this with me. I don't get what I want, I get what I am. This is why people who want love attract more loneliness. If deep down, they still see themselves as unworthy. It's why people who want abundance keep struggling. If their nervous system is still calibrated to survival. To shift your life, you must shift your internal definition of self. Because identity isn't an accessory, it's a broadcast signal. Chapter 2. The signal of already. Here's what high-frequency beings have mastered. They don't chase alignment. They don't strive for a timeline. They live as if what they desire is already true. Not with delusion, with embodied certainty. They wake up with the posture of someone already successful. They speak with the tone of someone already free. They make decisions from the space of already being loved, seen, safe. That's not arrogance, that's energetic accuracy. Because the quantum field doesn't respond to hope. It responds to certainty, not blind faith, but the deep-rooted, cellular-level feeling of, it's mine, because it matches who I've become. Chapter 3. Embodiment is the transmission. Let's stop here and clarify something essential. Embodiment is not performance, it's permission. When you fully embody your new frequency, you're no longer sending requests to the universe. You are transmitting a living signal. Your breath, your walk, your nervous system. All of it says, this is who I am now. You stop talking about worthiness because your entire presence radiates it. You stop needing to prove love because your body hums in the safety of being loved. You stop searching for signs because you become the signal. Chapter 4. Collapse the old identity with compassion. Let's be honest. You can't become your future self while dragging your past self behind you like a ghost. And the hardest part about transformation? It's not the leap forward. It's the mourning. Yes, mourning. You must mourn the identity that got you here. The version of you who learned to survive by shrinking, was quiet to keep the peace, hustled to prove their worth, played small to stay safe. They kept you alive. They deserve a thank you. And then a release, because you can't fully step into the new until you stop apologizing for outgrowing the old. That old self isn't bad. It's just complete. Now it's time to let the frequency of your becoming take the stage. Chapter 5. The moment the signal locks in. Let's zoom in on the defining moment. You're triggered. Your nervous system wants to shut down. Your mind wants to spiral. The old emotion rises like a tidal wave. And this time, instead of acting from the old identity, you pause. You breathe. You say, "This is not who I am anymore." And that second of stillness, that heartbeat of awareness, that's when the new signal locks in. It's not always flashy. There's no fireworks, no angels descending, but the field notices. Your energy has stabilized. And what happens next? Reality begins to reorder itself around your new center. Chapter 6. Stop waiting for the sign. You are the sign. So many people ask, when will the universe give me a sign? When will I know it's working? When will things finally shift? Here's the answer. The moment you become the person who no longer needs the sign is the moment you become the sign yourself. That's the irony. The signal doesn't activate when you get proof. It activates when you stop needing proof. Because that's when your energy stops asking and starts resonating. The world doesn't move because you shout louder. It moves because your frequency is finally undeniable. Chapter 7. What life looks like after the frequency shift. So what happens when you live as the vibration? A few things begin to unfold, quietly but unmistakably. You stop tolerating low-frequency dynamics, not from anger, but from clarity. People begin to reflect your new identity back to you, without you even trying. You make decisions faster, because your nervous system is no longer negotiating between old and new. Synchronicities increase, not because the universe changed, but because you did. Peace becomes your baseline, not because life gets easier, but because you're no longer broadcasting chaos. This isn't magic. This is energetic congruence. When your inner world becomes stable, your outer world becomes responsive. Chapter 8. The field speaks the language of wholeness. If you remember just one thing from this entire journey, let it be this. The universe doesn't speak the language of desperation. It speaks the language of wholeness. When you say, "I need it," you signal lack. When you say, "I am it," you signal truth. When you beg for change, the field hears instability. When you breathe through discomfort, the field hears authority. And when your actions, emotions, thoughts, and energy all match, that's when the field responds. Not with chaos, not with delay, but with precision, because the signal is clear and clarity is power. Chapter 9. Integration over intensity. Now that you're here, you don't need to work harder to keep the signal alive. You need to stay consistent, stay aware, stay in your body, and most importantly, stay honest, not perform the vibration. Live it, not perfectly, but consistently. This isn't about creating a new self. It's about remembering the one that's always been there. And now that the old programming is fading, the broadcast has space to expand. Closing integration, speak from the new self. So take this breath with me. Inhale and ask, if I were already the version of me I've been working toward, how would I move today? How would I eat? How would I speak? How would I walk into this room? How would I handle that trigger? Because the more you practice being from the future, the faster it becomes your present. And one day you'll look around and realize, I'm no longer trying to attract this life. I've become the frequency that makes it inevitable. That is embodiment. That is alignment. That is truth. Comment below with this phrase, I am the frequency now. Say it with breath. Say it with clarity. Say it with your body. Because this isn't a request anymore. It's a broadcast. Thank you for walking this entire journey. If you're just joining, watch parts 1 through 4 to build your frequency step by step. Subscribe if you're ready to live not in reaction, but in resonance. Because now you are the signal. And the field, it's already responding.